I now give the floor to the representative of Greece.
Thank you, Mr. President. I thank the Deputy Special Coordinator, Ramis Alakbarov, for his sobering briefing. Let me start by expressing our full condemnation of attacks against Jewish communities worldwide, including recent attacks in Manchester and Sydney. We condemn in the strongest possible terms all forms of anti-Semitism and hate, intolerance, racism, and xenophobia, including anti-Muslim hatred. Mr. President, a month ago, this Council adopted Security Council Resolution 2803, which constitutes a crucial step towards advancing peace, security, and stability in the region. Building on the 20-point peace plan mediated by the US and regional partners, it provides a renewed impetus for efforts aimed at permanently disarming Hamas and extremist actors as a sine qua non precondition for a sustainable peace and stability in Gaza. It also lays out a path for restoring Palestinian self-determination and achieving a viable two-state solution. We need to step up the implementation of the peace plan so as not to lose the current momentum, and we call on all parties to abide by its provisions fully and in good faith. Turning to the Security Council Resolution 2334, which frames today's discussion, let me outline the following points. Implementing policies that contravene Resolution 2334 lead to rising tensions and instability in the West Bank. They also have no legal validity and constitute a flagrant violation of international law. They constitute a serious impediment to the creation of contiguous, sovereign, and viable Palestinian state. The construction of additional settlement units and outposts, land confiscation, demolition of Palestinian homes, and displacement of civilian populations all undermine the prospects for peaceful coexistence based on mutual recognition. Against this backdrop, we are deeply alarmed by the sharp surge in settler violence in the West Bank, including attacks targeting Christian communities. We call for the protection of the Palestinian population in the occupied territories, including the Christian communities, and the preservation of the status quo of the holy sites in the old city of Jerusalem. Should the situation in the West Bank continue to unravel, it could further erode the prospect of a two-state solution. Equally concerning is the ongoing economic strangulation faced by the Palestinian communities resulting from withheld tax revenues and constrained financial flows. The economic viability of the West Bank is indispensable, not only for the livelihoods of Palestinians, but for the broader peace process. We therefore call for the immediate release of withheld revenues and for the restoration of a functioning Palestinian financial and banking sector. It is a prerequisite for meaningful self-governance and sustainable recovery. Mr. President, the role of the UN and its agencies, UNRWA in particular, remains central, and the SDICJ recently reaffirmed in its advisory opinion. A few weeks after the overwhelming General Assembly vote reaffirming the agency's mandate, Greece reiterates its full support for UNRWA's essential work. International solidarity and coordinated humanitarian assistance must remain steadfast, especially during winter, to alleviate suffering and uphold human dignity, particularly as harsh winter storms and low temperatures place vulnerable groups at risk in the Gaza Strip. We take heart in the continued and targeted efforts of the UN and its partners to deliver assistance. Such assistance must continue and be allowed to flow without impediments. Equally, We look forward to the convening of the upcoming conference on the reconstruction of Gaza announced by Egypt. Greece is ready to assist. Mr. President, in his History of the Peloponnesian War, the ancient Greek historian Thucydides describes the symbolic resilience of the olive tree. And to us, Greeks, the olive tree carries through the ages the powerful messages of resilience and peace. Extending an olive branch instead of uprooting the tree is in fact an act of wisdom. We remain unwavering in our conviction that the two-state solution is the only viable way to ensure peace, justice, and security for both Israelis and Palestinians. And we call on all parties to summon the political courage needed to advance along the second phase of the 20-point peace plan. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Greece for the statement.